pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like giving up.
And welcome to the Charlotte Motor Speedway. We are here for the Icon 240, the Icon's longest race of the evening. I'm Alan Bergen. Joined up here in the booth, special guest for the first stage is going to be the one and only Nathan Finnegan. Nathan, how are you doing?
Pretty good, Alan. Would be better if we had Rowdy here, obviously. Thoughts go out to him and his family and everybody in the NASCAR community right now. Unfortunately, not down there running tonight, just with it being a Monday night, unfortunately, with the work schedule and everything else. But going to enjoy being up here in the booth with you tonight.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, while these guys are finishing up practice, you know, speaking of Kyle Busch and what happened over the weekend, you know, racing is the best medicine. But, you know, I want to, you know, I've been listening. I listen to a lot of music, Nathan. And that's one thing a lot of people don't know about me is I believe in music heals all wounds, right? You find that one song or that one artist that you gravitate towards, and you know, I hate to say it, but I do like to say it because right now I've been gravitating towards a little Charlie Puth and Wiz Khalifa. But nonetheless, let's get into that a little bit later on. Let's go down and see our starting grid here tonight. And as you would know it, you know, you got Jacob Smith and Jeff Dillon on the front row here tonight. Starting in row number 2 is going to be the Rocket, Zach Lockett, and Charlie Widener. Row number 3 is where you'll find Jacob Malone and Brian Smith, Flying Brian Smith in row number 3. Row number 4 is going to be Chris Camburn and Chris Mackey. The Battle of the Chris's rolling off row 4. Row number 5 is going to be Cody Eldred and Ryan Patty. Row number 6 is where you'll find Bentley Glazer and Matt Everett. Row number 7, you'll find Nathan Brzezowski and Justin Bissonette. Row number 8, Michael Taylor and Adam Ball, the low front. Adam Ball. Row number 9, Mike Grinnell and Brock Hersey. Row number 10 is where you'll find that Skittles car, Robert Bloom or Goggles Paisano. Jake Christenberry will round out your top 20. Starting in the 21st position will be Kevin Gunther and Travis Gilbert. Row 12, you'll find Hanover Fist and Jacob Gladjulich. Going to be in race control. What we're going to do, Nathan, we're going to go trackside here. These guys are getting an extra pace lap. They are doing the missing link.
Yeah, it's a nice tribute to the Busch family and everything Kyle provided for the sport and racing in general. You know, I think motorsports as a whole is, you know, a really big family. It's a tight-knit community. And, you know, not only is everybody feeling the impacts of what Kyle's done over the course of his career and what legacy he'll continue to leave behind for us, as well as, you know, even the sim racing community and us here on iRacing.
Yeah, also, we just want to make note on lap number 8, we will go silent in honor of Kyle Busch here tonight. Want to thank Jacob for doing race control and doing this pace lap here, you know, and there's a lyric in the song of Till I See You Again by Charlie Puth and Wiz Khalifa, where it's been a long time since I've seen you, my friend, and I'll tell you about it when we meet again. And that lyric just keeps replaying in my mind every video I see. You know, just if you can, you know, the Bundle of Joy Foundation, you know, donate a little bit if you can. You know, we don't have that link here for this week, but I'm sure that every little bit helps. And you know, just that's a charity that Kyle Busch was deeply involved with his wife Samantha. So definitely, you know, just every little bit helps towards that donation. And you know, just what a touching gesture here tonight.
And I think it just speaks again to like the impact that Kyle had on not only the race community, but as well as touching, hundreds of thousands of families' lives with IVF treatment, being able to provide those opportunities. And I think Ernest Hemingway kind of says it best in terms of each person has two deaths in this life, and one of the physical sense and the physical body, and the other is the last time someone utters that person's name. And I think that's such a profound quote when talking about grief and loss. And, I think like Dale Sr., Kyle's going to have, a hell of an impact on racing for decades to come and the sport as a whole.
Well, as you see, Gladwich dived down off pit road. He was doing race control. And we're going to take one more lap for the iRacing.com pace car. The lights are out on the speedway. Icon's longest race of the year, 3 stages. Nathan, I know there's a pit stop built into every one of these stages. When do you think that stage? I mean, you've been on the racetrack. I've been on the racetrack. I was on, giving the night off, and last night I do love doing the Coke 600, and I didn't fare so well in the lobbies there in the public realm, but when do you find that pit stop, especially that first stage being 60 laps? Is it going to be lap 30, lap 40, or do we try to make it the end of stage 1 and flip stage 2?
Yeah, I think like you said, fuel I think is going to be a big key of this year, and we're definitely not going to be able to make it fully green on a single fuel cycle. So I think we're going to be going roughly 35, 36 laps on a tank. Tires will matter, track position matters. Getting that clean air. So I think the undercut honestly has a lot to benefit drivers tonight if they're able to do it, and I can see a lot of guys splitting it right down the middle if it stays green.
Well, I can tell you right now, for the fans watching at home, ladies and gentlemen, off of turn number 4, we're about to do it for Dale Be Like Biff. And ladies and gentlemen, Icon, we're about to race like Rowdy is. Well, they're going to come around 4 laps. We're going to try that again. We're going to run that back.
I think Race Control had threw a couple things in the wrenches here tonight with us throwing this memorial in. So
we're going to try it one more time. The lights are out this time. I believe this time is going to be the one that we get to go green.
Agreed. Should be green this time.
I almost Steve Harvey'd the start of the race. Okay. I've had like 8 hours of practice.
No, you're good, Alan. And another tribute lap certainly can't go wrong here tonight with what we put on for Rowdy. And I think it just again speaks volumes to what he's done. And at the same time, we could pace for the next 2 hours, and it wouldn't be enough. So.
Well, we got 240 laps of business to take care of, and now we're going to enter into turn number 3. As we bring these cars down, we're going to start in the daytime and in the nighttime. But as we get to turn number 4, ladies and gentlemen, it's time. As we enter into turn number 4 on Memorial Day, we're going to be like Dale. We're going to race be like Biff. And ladies and gentlemen, in the Icon Cup Series, we are going to race like Rowdy as they come down the green flag.
Strong power move by the 93 of Zach Lockett on the outside here off of 2.
Yeah, Zach Lockett has been so strong all season long. Other than, we got trouble in the back there. Nathan Bronzowski. Oh, no, not the way you want to get this race started. So far, no yellow. There's the yellow flag. And these guys, it's 240 laps. However, it's still a long night here, and not the way some of these guys wanted to get their night started here. we're gonna speed that up just a hair, but
No, certainly not.
certainly slow motion, and that's what we were experiencing in the public lobby here all weekend. So we're gonna go back to this here.
He almost gathered it up too. He had it nearly saved off. I mean, that took all of 3 and 4 to wreck, I think. And oh gosh, yeah, I don't know who it was that ran straight into the back from there. That might end that person's night, unfortunately. I think he was going into 3 expecting the 08 of Michael Taylor to give him maybe a little bit more room than he had, and Taylor dove it in, and I think they were staggered going into the corner and just miscommunication there from the spotters, and that's the end result, unfortunately.
Let's go see what Kevin Finkert saw here as we go on board here. Let's try this again. And I mean, he almost just makes your eyes wide open, and then hand over fist. This is the view that he had, and just nowhere to go, and slide for life right there on the front straightaway. Good job, Hanover, for not hitting anything.
Yeah, I was going to say some incredible avoidance, actually, all things considered, by a lot of the field that was driving through that whole ordeal. It's, hopefully these guys kept their cars in one piece. My gosh, Hanover just barely missing the pit road entry wall there. That could have been a lot worse.
Don't get me wrong, Hanover Fist will probably eat from the senior citizens discount, but he has cat-like reflexes.
Yeah, Hanover's one of the better drivers in our series in terms of consistency goes, and he obviously prides himself very much so on keeping his nose clean. I know he's going to be a little flustered and frustrated to lose his 0x race this early on, but hey, it's the longest race of the year. Name of the game: just keep the car in one piece and keep it rolling, and figure out where we are the last 30 to 40 laps when it's go time.
So Nathan, I know you're up here for the first stage, and we got a lot of great drivers out here tonight. And here's the thing: all season long, it's almost like 2025 all over again, with you and Brian just almost being inseparable. What is it about Brian Smith that makes you so much better? Because I know you guys are out there challenging each other, making each other better, and it just seems like when you're around Brian Smith, you just drive way harder.
It's big props to 78. Doing an amazing job in the championship so far this season, and won a handful of races now, or 2 handfuls of races at this point. But I think big thing with Brian is he is always so tactical of being able to put the car right where it needs to be and right on the edge without overstepping that line. And especially with the Gen 7 now, it's such a harder thing to gauge compared to previous Gen cars. There's a lot less, you hear the real life drivers talk about this all the time, there's a lot less room for error now. And it's a lot harder to recover it if you do go over that line. But yeah, enjoy racing Brian and the 78 team every single week. Does make me a better racer. I know it makes a lot of the guys in here better racers. And his level of consistency too. I think that's a big part of being higher end skill on iRacing, is just being able to do like a robot, same thing lap after lap after lap. And it's so hard to replicate. And that's what sets him apart sometimes.
As we get ready to come back to green here after the first caution coming out here, and a lot of new drivers here this season, with the addition of Shane Cochran, who last year was in the broadcast booth with me all season. This year decided to trade the suit in for a driving suit. As we get ready to come back to green, we're going to get back to Shane here in just a minute, but the iRacing.com Silverado getting ready to pull off onto pit road here. Zach Lockett, Jacob Malone brings the field down to the Echo Park restart zone. And we are back to green flag racing here at the Icon Cup Series.
Wow, good jump. The Valvoline inside just did not get going there at all.
Yeah, getting through the first turn. And this sunlight is really going to be taking its toll as these drivers come down the back straightaway. It's only going to be sunny just for a little while. We're going to be racing into the night. So my question to you, Nathan, is how much you think that car is going to change as we transition from the day to the night? Is it going to tighten up, do you think, or is it going to loosen up? Because I know there's going to be a lot of grip in there.
Yeah, I think it'll feel a lot more stable at the apex and off as the night goes on and the track rubbers up and things cool down a little bit. I think this race, more than any other race on the calendar, just because of the length and the time, you do note it. You are adjusting your approach as the race goes on and the track conditions are changing, and wind direction. I'm not sure. Have to double check with the meteorologist, but I'm not sure what the weather's doing currently. But that does make a big difference with this car in terms of downforce being so crucial.
Well, right now in that 16th position, there's a cold front coming through. It's a great thing you mentioned weather, because here is the weather for tonight. It is a cool 73 degrees track temperature, just 4 degrees warmer at 77 degrees on the track. And then we got a northeast wind out of 7 miles an hour. Now, unlike the weekend, we don't get rain in iRacing unless you run road courses and sports cars. So it's clear. And I don't know about where you're from, but where I'm from, that 65% relative humidity is not too bad on Memorial Day weekend.
No, exactly. Beautiful weather for this event. And yeah, the nice thing about our event is it will for sure finish under green, folks. It'll for sure finish all 260 laps we're running tonight. Or 240, excuse me. 240.
Yeah, we're definitely not going to end this thing under rain. We might end it in a green, white checkers. Might end it under caution because we, exceeded the number of attempts we get from green, white checkers. But if you're just new to Icon, there is no fast repairs in this league whatsoever. The damage that you accrue is the damage you have to get fixed. So then you got to weigh the options. If you're in the cockpit, you got to weigh the options of, do I hope for cautions every so often, because you're guaranteed at least 3 of them tonight to get damage fixed. However, these races have a habit of going the distance minus stage caution.
Oh yeah, and speaking of damage, I think the 33 Christian Berry just got shoved kind of to the inside wall there off of 2. He was keeping it rolling straight, thankfully, and no caution, no yellow, no damage to anybody. But very close call there. Almost had a repeat Chase Elliott type situation.
As we are about 3 wide back here around this Travis Gilbert area, and I mean these guys are, as the night goes on, these guys are going to hustle these cars around this racetrack. So don't be surprised if you see guys up near the wall. Now, for me, I'm going to use the dirt term. There is no cushion on a pavement track, but however, given that I am the resident dirt guy here at Sim Racing Media, you're going to find these guys up there on the high line. These lines are going to shift. Everybody's running towards the inside. The inside's going to lose grip. The car's going to get tightened. So you're going to have to move around and find grip here. So we're just about single filed out, actually, here with Chris Mackey leading this piece. And then you got Jacob Malone and the Rocket Zach Lockett back here. Nathan, I'm still working on your nickname. I still haven't found it because in dirt racing we get nicknames. As Zach.
Don't worry, Alan. I'm sure it'll come to you at some point.
Zach King having a moment. He's going to get it back going, hopefully. And meanwhile, we're going to stay green. And
I think what suits this car with this track so well, and what you could see last night during the real life race too, is that every groove here is relatively viable for this intermediate package that we're running currently with the Gen 7, and it ends up putting on some great racing because yes, the car is air dependent. However, with all those different grooves viable, it allows guys to kind of move around and kind of again going to the dirt game a little bit. It finding that groove that's wearing in and getting into that more tacky dirt, if you would, to try and generate some speed. And you see Zach relinquish the lead, and I think that's kind of part of the plan right now is just managing the tires, hoping that the 9 and the 54 are slowly going to come back to him.
Yeah, I believe, and this is what I've learned with the stage racing, is there's a sense of urgency. It's no longer when you're in here with the Icon Cups, with the playoff format. We're going back to the stage format this year. As you guys mirror the real life cup schedule here, if you will. And as we were watching that 9 car continue to lead here, he's not getting away from Jacob Malone. Jacob Malone, who just came on here at the season, I want to say he ran a little bit last year, like on a part-time basis. This year, putting in a full-time effort. He's there, and then until he's not. Right now, at the end of these races, he has a real strong first and middle of the race. But it seems like that the end of the race just seems to where he runs out of talent or the luck runs out. And I'm pretty sure that I'm a betting man. I'm pretty sure Jacob Malone would like to have the golden horseshoe that Brian Smith has in the back end of his car to finish one of these races off.
Yeah, and Jake's had some good runs this year too. That 54 machine's got some really good speed. You can almost set your watch to it that he's gonna, show up and he'd be a contender week in and week out. Younger kid, but he's got some really raw talent, and it shows on, again, like that level of consistency with being able to run those high average lap times and maximizing the pace. As you see him closing in on Mackey here off of 4.
Yeah, and that's the thing is Chris and Mackey closed in on Michael Taylor in that 08 car. Now, the one thing Chris Mackey's got to do when he gets to Michael Taylor, and that is to get around Michael Taylor efficiently, and that's gonna put a car between him and Jacob Malone. Zach Lockett here closing in, just doing what he's got to do. In this first and half second stage, the stage and a half, it's gonna be all about just logging laps and being there at the end. We're gonna go to lap 60, then we're gonna go to 120, then 180. 3 stages tonight, a pit stop built in. I'm gonna want to say they're gonna split the stage in half and do pit stops right there at the end, at least for fuel, to get them to the end of stage number 1. Tires, I can see tires at the beginning of stage 2.
And that's the thing is, tire sets, unlike real life, we don't run 14, 15 tire sets at the track. So, I'm curious to see what a lot of guys might doing is, like you just said, coming down, getting fuel only during this stage 1 pit stop to try to bank a set for later. Because if you take tires every single time you come, you're going to run out. You're not going to make it to the end here.
Exactly. Chris Powell going to win the Allen Experience race to the beer stand as being the first car out of this one. He's still on pit road though.
Yeah, and I think that kind of goes back to the attrition and the endurance of this type of an event where, just like you said, logging laps, just getting a feel for what the car's doing, what it's not doing, where you can run, where you can't. Watching what other guys are doing that might have short run speed, long run speed, and try to replicate or implement that in your own strategy as much as you possibly can do. And you see the 54 now offsetting from Mackey here, running off of 2, and yeah, it's curious to see how the 08 fares with when the 9 gets to him. I could see him fighting him pretty tough because he wants to stay in that lead lap as much as possible.
We got the Drift King and the YouTube deck on live chat giving us a hand. I think they're applauding you, Nathan, for jumping in here. Look, it's an open door policy all night. If people want to jump in here and chat with me, that's all right by me. It's open door policy. Chris Mackey in the number 9 car continues to lead here. He's looking a little bit further back here. Nathan Brodowski has recovered all the way back to 12th. And, we got trouble. Cody Eldred. He's going to go around. We got some other cars also. No caution yet. We're going to stay green. And that would be, there's the caution. What a huge
there it
for
is.
Michael Taylor.
I think Jeff Dillon in the 52 going around was actually what really kind of got that to throw it. as he was sideways with cars right around him.
And just like Arnold Schwarzenegger, we're going to get to the chopper here and see what the heck happened. And, ooh, there it is. It's going to loop it around and park it. Let's go back and look and see what happened to...
Oh, wow. Yeah, Banker kind of just drove through him. Drove through just caught the 32 a lot quicker than he expected to mid-corner and just kind of ran through his left rear. And
there it is.
Yeah, 32 had it saved, and he just kind of finished him off. And the 8 took significant damage on the right front. That probably killed his car. Blauin piles in, unfortunately.
Man, oh man, what a tough break for these guys here. But nonetheless, there's still a lot of time to recover from these incidents, and we've seen this before where guys have taken damage in the beginning of the race, and pretty much just Tyler Reddick did all the way to the front.
Whew, Hanover with another dodge too, when the 52 was broken right rear toe link maybe. Rear suspension is just gone, and he was on the apron and tried to give it too much, and it just went around on him. And Hanover Fist having a dodge yet another car this early on.
And they're going to come down for pit stops, wholesale pit stops, and this might be the one that gets to the end. I bet you dollars to donuts it's going to be a lot of fuel only, and I can't wait. We're going to jump to our pit road cam and not that one, but okay.
Yeah, this will really dictate on who saved their tires best. If a lot of fuel only options here. We'll see what they end up doing with managing race pace of anybody behind them that decided to take tires if they're trying to go for the stage points here early.
Well, just as you say that, we got the pit stops. Hanover Fist gonna win the race off pit road with no stop. He's not gonna come in. A lot of two and fuel only, all the way until you get back to Chris Camburn, who took 4 tires. And like you said, that could mean trouble for the end here for some of these guys.
And with guys that took 2, I mean, I will say it's having done it this week, it is viable. Suarez, what he pulled off was not a fluke by any means. And, I think that's a pretty smart move at this stage of the race. But I get why guys would want to bank a set, because, again, later on, you're not going to know. It's tough to say, though, because as more and more cars get wrecked out, less and less opportunities to create further cautions as the race treks on. So,
well, one thing I wish iRacing had, and that's the choose area. I wish they had the choose cone or the choose line. And
the fact that it's in the console games gives me some hope, Alan, that it'll eventually be implemented. Maybe one day.
I'm hoping after season 3 or maybe at the start of next season's NIS series. But I guarantee you, if it's going to be an iRacing, it's going to be an icon.
We have the technology. I don't know why we're not pursuing it. It's we could definitely code it in. I'm no game designer by any means, but based on what they've done with the quality of this product, I can't foresee them not doing that at some point. So like you said, probably sometime next year. But if they do implement it in iRacing, we will absolutely be implementing it in the league.
I mean, that creates a lot of strategy with the choose code, and there's a lot of leagues that do it now. And it wreaks havoc on race control when they had to clear a bunch of penalties. But nonetheless, it's going to be Chris Mackey and Jacob Malone back on your front row as we get ready to come back to Green Flag Racing here once again. We're going to be restarting on lap number, let's see. I don't know. I don't have my lap counter. I'll have my lap counter once we go back to green, but nonetheless.
I think we're going to have 30 on the dot, actually. This is exactly halfway in the stage.
That's why we saw the pit stops. Well, Chris Mackey, Jacob Malone bringing us back down. Barney's got the flag stand in hand. And we are back to racing underneath the beautiful sunset here in Concord, North Carolina.
Great jump by the 9 again on that restart.
Well, here's where, Nathan, we start transitioning into the twilight. As, whoa, hello, Chris Camber going for a ride. He's going to dirt track it and save it. Meanwhile,
Kept it rolling.
Chris Mackey going to keep it going here. Keep her nice and straight. As, last year we saw this race in the fog. And last year, Brian Smith was the victor in this one. As Brian Smith is the victor in a lot of them. And Ryan Patty out of ECR, one of your teammates dirt tracking it there.
Hell of a save, my goodness. I think McNeil just ran to the back of him. I think he just broke earlier for the corner than he expected. I don't know if McNeil took tires, and I know Ryan took fuel only, so that might have been why he was backing off a little bit earlier on entry, but hell of a save nonetheless, and again, just keeping the car rolling at this stage of the race, because, we got a long way to go still.
Yeah, still 30, over, 38 laps left to go in stage number 2, 39 should be exact, 29 to be exact, sorry.
And Ryan just confirmed on the radio, McNeil and him exchanging words, and just confirmed that, had to lift a little bit earlier on entry there with the older tires compared to the guys that did take some that could be a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, exactly. And, as Jacob Malone gets by Chris Mackey, and you got Zach Lockett, the Rocket Zach Lockett, who I've called many races for. I love talking to Zach. When he showed up in Daytona when it mattered the most, and got the job done in Daytona, and here he is almost vying for the lead, trying to get that all-important stage win here. As in the long run, you're going to wish you had some of the stages as we progress into the playoffs, or into the chase. I call it the playoffs, so it's really the chase.
Yeah, it's the one thing that's going to hurt the 16 tonight is not being out there to fight for any sort of stage points. It's, at most 40 points that we're just kind of leaving on the table that other people are grabbing, unfortunately. But, life happens, and we'll be back in the car soon here for next week at Nashville. And we got drop weeks that are going to be coming up at some point during the summer, so.
I got a feeling that Brian could probably sit out the last half of the month, or the last month of the season.
Yeah, you're not wrong with the lead he's got going right now. Is doing his very best Tyler Reddick impression, or Tyler Reddick doing his very best Brian Smith impression. My gosh, lock it off the corner, off of 4. Barely saved that. Mackey cutting him a real break there. Smart move for both of them. My goodness.
Well, we've been talking about him all race long, but here he is up 4 positions. There's that 78 car. Anthony Tizio joining us here in the YouTube.com live chat, cheering on the 78 car. Let's go, Brian here. We want to thank everybody for joining us here, watching on your phones, on your tab. I think I even watched an Icon race on my 55-inch television in my living room before I jumped on the bike with you guys, and that was at the beginning of last year. Bentley Glazer, who we get to see on Tuesday nights now, another strong competitor here out of Gone Wrong Racing. That's the 3-car, Travis Gilbert, and the vet to track. What a fitting paint scheme now at the halfway point of this race. So at the end of stage 2, we're gonna go silent for a lap, and I know we were gonna go silent for lap 8. We missed that, so we're gonna go silent for lap 51. We're being a little unconventional here.
Hey, Rowdy was pretty unconventional with how he drove a lot of times and how he raced people, so I think it's only fitting.
So for those that may or may not know, KBM, he had the 51 truck in the truck series. And for the longest time, that was his number in the truck series. Now, I can see, we got a car doing some free landscaping. It's Jake Christenberry. Charlotte's got their own mowers. We don't need ours. But here we are, lap 39 of 60. Jason Metalworks. That's Brian Smith's sponsor. We're gonna get them some TV time here, as he gets enough TV time for all the right reasons. But Tizio, always checking in.
gotta be surprised that the 54 there gave him the right rear. I think that's one of the biggest things to defend. Oh, and they're wrecking again.
Brazowski. Let's see what happened to Nathan here. We're gonna widen this picture out. He drives away. Let's see what happened here to bring out, and just gets loose, and out she goes. Oh, heads up! Heads up. Caution number 3 here tonight. And Nathan Brazowski brings out caution number 3 out of Adrenaline Racing here. So we are slowed down once again on the back straightaway. Anthony Tizio saying he needs to add another win sticker tonight. I think he's got enough wins that he could, at the last month, could be a drop week. But nonetheless, I'm starting to wonder, Nathan, and I know you have a lot of, I know you have your hands in the icon behind the scenes. I want to peel back the curtain. Have we ever thought about putting a bounty on Brian Smith?
Be interesting. I don't know. We've joked about it. I don't know if we'll ever actually go forward and do it. Yeah, actually, funny enough, I recommended to Tizio. He just puts one win sticker and then like a little X with a number and just updates the number rather than, because before you know it, we're gonna lose the roof rail and it's just gonna be checkered flags all over it. But hey, Zilich did it. It was a good look, and yeah, you know, if you're in the position where you're collecting the stickers, then you get to do what you want with them. So
they also had a lot of short tracks. If the guy went too much, he also had a back road challenge where I may be talking to the other sides here in the chat, but we got to do something, man. I want to see him coming from the back. I want to see him pass a lot of cars.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if we did like heats or inverted races or anything like that. It's the difference too, I think, which makes it a little tricky, is we have such a long distance with us running 60% cup schedule distance anyway. You know, it gives guys plenty of time to just take care of their stuff and make moves. And you know, speaking of that, it seems like turn 4 has been the most treacherous it's been all week tonight so far. I don't know if it's just wind direction, it's not rubbering up as well, or that bump is just really giving people fits with only 60% fuel load in the car at the moment.
Well, you hit on every single nail on the head, and I gotta tell you, you know, Brian does this better than anybody right now. We're gonna come back to one to green here, but Brian is one guy that will take care of his stuff, and he just there's
cool
not enough
head,
words.
And no, exactly. It's you know, he keeps a cool head, and you know, I applaud his ability to crew chief in real time too, and you know, what feels like making the right call 9 times out of 10 in terms of what the strategy is to do, whether it's the pit, not pit, 2 tires, 4 tires, outside lane, inside lane, you name it. And you know, and again, that makes all of us better in the field too, is, you know, being able to race alongside him and take any opportunity to learn a little bit more. You know, it's and then go out there and try to beat him.
You know, and here's the thing too, is I feel like Brian Smith behind the wheel, you know, on race radio, and you could back me up on this if you want, or you can tell me I'm completely wrong, but I feel like that Brian's one of those guys that are coaching some of these drivers even from behind the wheel, especially at a track like Talladega, Daytona, or even at a short track, saying, hey, you know, even in pre-race or post-race, hey, next time you can make this move rather than this move. I feel like there's in racing, there's no wrong decisions, just better ones.
It's a good point, and that'll yeah, he's certainly that type of guy where he will do that for sure, on and off the track. which is helpful. You know, if people want to know things to get better, he'll be more than happy to share.
Well, we're going to go back to Green Flag Racing. Brian Smith's going to lead them through the Echo Park restart zone. And away we go. Brian Smith getting out to the early lead here on lap 44. Just a reminder, we're going to go silent here at lap 51. So these guys are going to be clean and green all the way through here. Jacob Malone to the back bumper of, almost to the back bumper of Brian Smith. Here comes Jacob Smith, though. Team Jacob coming around, working on
another car on the wall off of 4.
Yep.
I think that was the 19 of Adam Ball, unfortunately.
Oh, there's the cold front coming in, and that car's been hit like a hurricane. We're going to keep an eye on Adam Ball here in the 19 car. He's probably going to pull it off the apron, jump to the pits, and wait to bring it out. That also yellow flag here, as we have 15 laps to go.
Now we're in a full-out sprint, right? Like, guys aren't conserving anything now, especially with how many frequent yellows we've been getting. It's, you know, all right, we're not going to get a long run. I don't really need to nurse the tires. Now it's full-on push mode till the stage.
Definitely, as we got a drag race here. Nathan Brzezowski a lap down, trying to get his lap back to Hardwick. Jacob Malone still trying to close in on the 78 car, Brian Smith. As we got some 3 wide going on back here in the back portion of this field. Jake Ruel there in a 39 car. He got himself a heat race win last week at Old Atlanta. You know, and here's the other thing I like about Icon is you guys don't run the All-Star race at the Dovers. You guys pick the tracks that are hard as we come to lap 50. The tracks that are difficult and give these guys a challenge.
Yeah, and being able to implement some like races of NASCAR past, right? Like, you know, the Fontanas, the old Atlantas, places that we can't unfortunately go and race in real life anymore, and races that frankly go really well hand in hand with this current gen car. So being able to take an off week from real life racing anyway to kind of make our own schedule and be able to do that is a cool opportunity for us, and we try to do it whenever we can.
Well, meanwhile, back at the ranch, Brian Smith out to a 3/10 of a second lead. We'll call it a half second with the eyeball test there. Jacob Malone trying everything he can. We got 12 laps to go in the stage. Just a reminder, the boot's going to go silent here on lap number 51. You know, Kyle Busch is known for, you know, his wins in the Cup Series and with his number being iconic in the Cup Series. And you know, he drove with Spire, but he had that KBM number 51. So next time by, whenever Brian Smith crosses the finish line, we're going to step aside, go silent, and honor Rowdy. As we come off of turn number 4, we are going to go silent right now. We'll be right back. Brian Smith still out to the lead here as we got 9 laps to go here in stage number 1, and Jacob Malone has all but caught him. There's the eyeball touch, just shrunk.
Yeah, a little bit of a bobble by the 78 there. It clipped the apron and he got real loose. And I was wondering, honestly, while we were watching the past couple laps with Malone had been saving this whole time, and Brian just kind of shot out of a cannon there and was full push. And now I was kind of wondering if Malone was going to have just enough laps to get back to him by the end of the stage. And, you know, Brian kind of made it a lot easier for him. Ooh, as Malone catches it himself.
Brian Smith, Jacob Malone doing a John Ford special there, Goodyear to Goodyear. going into turn number 3. 8 laps to go here in stage number 1. It's going to be Jacob Malone. It's anybody's stage right now, but who are we going to be talking to at the end of stage number 1? Is it going to be Brian Smith or is it going to be Jacob Malone? 7 laps to go. And this is where, you know, we see the intensity just kind of ramp up here. Bentley Glazer having a hard time getting around Nathan Brzezowski. And so is Jacob Smith. Jacob Smith tried to get his name in the hat. Remember, top 10 get the stage points, so you want to be in that top 10 spot. Nathan Brzezowski making it super hard for some of these guys to get around. Him. Jacob Smith, look at him. Or Zachary King, rather. Look at him up there in 3rd spot. And he had a spin.
Yeah, and this might be, again, I'm not 100% sure, but this is where the tires really kind of come in, and you're wondering, you know, where these guys are cycling out now if they did decide to take tires at that pit stop. And it might be well worth it if they get the stage points to back it up.
Matt Everett's in YouTube.com live chat, not happy with Kevin Bankert. And, you know, so you're coming to the end of stage 5. Let's go. 5 phalanges in the air for the stage here.
And knowing Brian, he's going to do everything to stay poised in this moment. And, you know, I kind of alluded to it earlier, like protecting the right rear here with this car is so crucial. And, you know, I think Malone kind of heated the tires up, the front tires, making the move that he did. And, you know, he's been spinning the past couple laps, kind of regrouping that momentum again to make another charge at it. And he's going to have to get to that right rear to finish the pass. I just don't know if he has enough turn left in the front tires at this point to finish the pass off the bottom if he has to.
Here we are, lap 57, 4 laps to go in stage number 1. Jacob Malone, it's a 2-horse race to the end of stage 1. Zachary King. And we are waiting for Zachary King. Usually has his mama in the chat. And, you know, he's up 25 spots, but I know Zachary King's got a whole lot of family watching.
Oh, the 54.
Oh, no, what happened to Jacob Malone? He's going to get, oh, no. Are you kidding me? No caution. He's going to get it back. There is the caution. Jacob Malone just goes through the, it's going to go back to what you had just said about about those tires here. Jacob Malone's going to drive it away. Let's see what happened here.
Turn 4 strikes again.
Oh, no. Just...
It just stepped out, and that was the end of that. Beautiful save, though.
I mean, coming up to the end of the stage, I believe this will be the end of stage 1.
Yeah, because they're not going to be able to get going back green by the time it cycles and everything else, so this will officially end the stage. Gosh, to throw away, yeah, would have had 9 points from the stage right there to throw them all the way and have to re-rack them and start from the back now.
Well, your stage 1's going to finish like this. Brian Smith, Zachary King, and Jacob Malone getting the top 3 in the stage. Travis Gilbert, Jacob Roll, Bentley Glazer, Justin Bissonette, Ryan Patty, Charlie Weiner, and the Rocket, Zach Lockett, all getting stage points. We are going to go ahead and Nathan, we're going to wait for these guys to go down pit road, and then we'll get a quick chat with these guys, with your stage 1 winner here.
Need to get some Chevys up here. Gotta get some bow ties up near the front. My goodness.
I mean, look, they really wrote one song about a Ford, and that was because of the If you know, you know. If you know what song I'm talking about, I'll give it out. It's Chevrolet by Dustin Lynch and Jelly Roll. I don't believe they wrote a song about a Toyota. Not yet, anyways.
No, yeah, and I'll be very surprised if they do, but hey, anything's possible.
As these guys are working their way off pit road, let's go ahead and do something that we don't normally do here. I'm going to get this up and going like this. As the car is a ghost car, let's go ahead and bring the winner of stage 1 up into the booth. We gotta find him first. Here he is.
I got him.
Hey Brian, it's Alan and Nathan up here in the SRM booth. You got a copy?
I got you guys.
Hey, look, man. No surprise that you're the winner of stage number 1. Take us through that stage and what you were experiencing out there on the racetrack.
Yeah, to start the stage, it was just save that extra tire set, and then we had that yellow fall, so didn't end up need to do a green flag pit stop, but still just with the mindset of saving the tires because want to save a set for later, and was able to drive through the field, got up to the lead, wanted that clean air, and held on to it and won the stage. So fun battling Jacob Malone there, and looked like he had a little issue at the end of the stage, but he's fast tonight. Jacob was fast tonight, and Jake Rowe is fast tonight. So it's gonna be a long race. Just got to try and survive and keep the fenders on it.
Well, look,
Yeah,
man,
hell of a save, Brian, in 1 and 2 with the bobble there, and Malone, that kind of brought him back to you to make it interesting, needless to say, before the spin. Noticing off of 4, it seems like everybody's got their hands full. I don't know if it's the bump with the infield tunnel right there, just bottoming out the car, or what's going on with you guys that you guys can see.
Yeah, I'm more loose off 2 than I am off 4. This thing's real loose. You would have loved driving it tonight, man.
That's how it goes, right?
Yeah, so just going to have to try and keep that right rear on it, wrap the bottom, and like I said, track position as always.
No, exactly. Clean air's dominant in this car. Appreciate you
Yes,
spending
sir.
a little bit of time with us. Good luck to you.
Thanks, guys.
so we're gonna get him back down to his team, and I believe that Nathan's gonna take care of that for me. So
All set.
Yep, as we get rid of some things here. There we go. And we're gonna get ready to come back to Green Flag Racing. And Nathan, I know you got a boot scoot boogie as the
Yeah, let these guys get going green here. Alan, appreciate the time as always and everything you guys do over at SRM, and hope you guys have a good rest of your night, and appreciate you covering this race for us and having me tonight.
Absolutely, you're welcome anytime as we go back to Green Flag Racing. Brian Smith, this time it's going to be the Battle of the Smiths. And just like Michael Bolton, it's a coincidence, no relation to each other. If you've seen Office Space, you know the reference. Nathan Finnegan, I want to thank Nathan Finnegan for joining us here in the SRM booth here. Stage number 2. We're going to lap 120 here as we got Jacob Smith, 2 teammates here. We are side by side doing it John Ford style. All the way back here, Justin Bissonette in that 06 car looking to make a move on Jacob Smith on the outside. He's going to dive it down to the inside. Justin Bissonette on the inside. He's going to get the lead early. You can tell these guys took tires. Here's what everybody took on the last pit stop. It was all 4 tires throughout the field here. No one getting away cleanly. Justin Bissonette just went ahead and set the fastest lap of the race so far. 49.27. Jacob Malone in danger of going a lap down here. He's hoping for a caution here on lap number 4. Brian Smith got to get around Jacob Malone just as fast as Justin Bissonette does. They are all but single filed out. Jacob Smith in that 3rd position. And he is being hounded right now by Travis Gilbert in that number 3 car. I want to thank everybody for joining us here in the YouTube.com live chat. As always, Matt Everett once again not happy with Kevin Banker. Jacob Malone in danger of going a lap down. They're good. Justin Bissonette going to put him a lap down here pretty quickly out of ECR. Brian Smith doing Brian Smith things. Meanwhile, you got Jacob Smith here. Just falling all the way back to 6th out of the top 5. Ryan Patty giving Jacob Smith a hard time here. I want to thank some of these guys for having almost the same paint scheme. These guys are working their way around Jacob Roll here in that number 39 car. It's the 39 car looking like the 84 car goggles placed on him. Love seeing that. Love seeing the. Gotta love seeing the tributes to Kyle Busch here. Meanwhile, back up in front here, Bissonette all over the back bumper of the 59 car of Jacob Malone, Brian Smith. He's being hounded right now by the 3 of Travis Gilbert. Lap number 9 of 120 here. We're working our way through stage number 2. We're going to go ahead, step aside, pay some bills here in Sim Racing. We'll be right back. But you won't miss a thing.
Premier Racing Setups is the longest running setup shop on iRacing. Our monthly subscription options start as low as $20 a month. We offer setups for dirt oval, asphalt oval, and road racing, covering a wide range of cars and skill levels. Built and tested by top-tier sim racers, this isn't just a business, it's a community of competitive drivers. If you want to better your iRacing experience, head over to PremierRacingSetups.com today. And remember, if you don't get one, you're going to chase one.
Welcome back to Concord, North Carolina at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Alan Bergen along with you, bringing you the Icon 240 at Charlotte. We are at 16 laps into stage 2. We're going to 120. Brian Smith, class of the field right now. Travis Gilbert and that Veta track number 3 right on his tail. And we are to the point where these guys are just logging the laps here. Jake Rawl and that number 39 car. He's got the Skittles and the M&Ms, and you know, Jacob Rowles playing the role of Candyman here, where we are reminiscing here about Kyle Busch here this race. 240, the longest race in the Icon Cup Series, as we are transitioning from twilight to sunset The sun is almost all the way down here. We are almost all the way under the lights. Liam Irving on assignment tonight. He'll be back with us next Sunday night as we bring you guys all the action from Nashville Super Speedway. Ryan Patty goes around Jacob Smith there for that 4th position. Jacob Smith in danger of falling out of the top 5. As Jacob Smith looking to have an answer for Ryan Patty in the 30 car. Meanwhile, Jacob Malone has staved off any battles to go a lap down. He's had a fast out right all night. As these guys are just about single filed out, more single filed out on the line of the Methadone Clinic. I want to thank everybody for joining us here in the YouTube.com live chat. Drift King giving us an applause. And we need to watch Ryan Smith lead this piece. We're going to go ahead and take a look at that race recap so far. We're on lap 80 of 240. Brian Smith. A lot of those 4 cautions for 12 laps. 6 lead changes so far. We're almost about, I want to say 9 laps away from getting pit stops underway. Once again, these guys are probably going to take fuel and to get them to the end of the stage at 30 laps. They're going to go about 30 laps on fuel tonight. And Hanover Fist a lap down, Adam Ball a lap down, Matt Everett's a lap down, Kevin Binker is out, Jeff Dillon is out. They've all had their fun meters pegged out for the night. Meanwhile, Jacob Malone trying to stave off. He's the one guy on the racetrack right now, hoping for a caution to come out here at just about any time. Travis Gilbert losing a little bit of ground. It's about a half-second interval right now. So we are watching Icon's longest race of the year, working lap number 83. Jacob Smith's going to venture up to the high line. And a lot of that's going to be Jacob Smith, just trying to stay even keeled with Jacob Malone. Maybe not wanting to pull a lap down. Bentley Glazer on the inside of Jacob Smith in that number 4 car. This is a battle for 5th right now. Justin Bissonette goes off racetrack. And he's going to slide through pit road. And that's going to bring out the caution. He's going to drive it away. We are under caution number 5 for the evening. Well, let's see what happened to Justin Bissonette. And he's going to do some free landscaping. And that's going to be an unsafe pit road penalty. He might talk to race control into getting that one knocked out. Meanwhile, caution number 5 for the evening. And that's going to allow Jacob Malone to catch up to the back of the field. Once again, the one driver on the racetrack that wanted to have that caution come out. Icon 240 here at Charlotte. So far, the running order, your top 3 is going to be Smith, and they're all going to come down pit road. wholesale pit stops here underneath that fifth caution of the evening. This is going to be for fuel. Jacob Smith. Yep, it's fuel only. Travis Gilbert gonna win the race pretty handily off pit road. Bentley Glazer right behind him. Charles Widener, Cody Eldred, Zach King. We go ahead and we're gonna do this. We're gonna go ahead and pull up the driver from, if he's there. He's not there. As we are working lap, or the fifth caution right now. Bentley Glazer coming back down pit road. That's a developing story as we get ready to go 1 to green here. There we go. We're going to get doubled up. Noah's Ark style behind that Iracing.com pace car. Bentley Glazer on pit road for reasons unknown. Cody Eldred up to that inside of the second row. Travis Gilbert will be bringing his field back down the green flag here. Just a moment. Thank everybody for joining us here in YouTube.com live chat. Charles Widener, Travis Gilbert bringing the field back to green flag racing here in just a few moments. Come back to green flag racing through the Geico restart zone. We are back green flag racing here at Charlotte. They're going to fan out 2-3 wide, 28 laps to go here, just shy of halfway end stage number 2. Down the back straightaway, 2x2 Noah's Ark style. Travis Gilbert out to 0.2 of a second lead over Charlie Widener and Zachary King. And here comes Brian Smith on the outside, making a 3 wide. He's going to get a 2-for-1 special. He's trying to do a 2-for-1 special. We are 3 wide with Chris and Mackey. Now we're 3 wide again. This time Ryan Patty, Zachary King, the meat and the sandwich here. Normally I'd get nervous about being 3 wide, but meanwhile, Brian Smith's going to get away cleanly. He's going to go around Travis Gilbert. Brian Smith back up to the lead. As if we didn't see this one already. Brian Smith, Jacob Roll. Travis Gilbert falls back to third. He's fired to the inside. Off of turn number 2 there, 3 wide, 2x2x2. Brian Smith out to a 4/10 of a second lead. That's what the eyeball test is going to show, a half a second. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Brian Petty going to catch the wall. Jacob Smith, he's looking to get around Jake Rollo. It's a battle of the Jakes. Ooh, we got trouble. Charlie Widener. Nosed into the wall. That's going to bring out another caution flag here as we go under caution for the number 6 time. Still having a Charlie Widener. And, ooh, no, Michael Taylor just gets in the back of him and sends him around. All right, that's going to set us up. Brian Smith, Jake Royale are going to be on the front row. His tires are about 10 laps old. That should be a quickie caution. Taking a look at this weather again, as the sun's continuing to set, we are down to 70 degrees. Track temperature staying the same. Humidity has gone up. It's now 78% relative humidity with a north sweep with a 2-mile-an-hour wind out of the northeast. Is anybody gonna come down pit road? Nope, the whoop-de-doo. No takers this time by. Right now we're under caution for the 6th time. Working our way, we're just halfway past stage, just past halfway to stage number 2. Brian Smith is continuing to lead this piece. It's a lucky dog. We're going to get another car back on the lead lap. Icon 240 at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and the sun is going down right now. These guys are getting geared up for another restart. The 5th caution for Collins here tonight. And 1 caution for the stage break. Brzezowski has recovered all the way. He's now in the top 10. We are getting ready to come back to the 1 to go. You guys are going to get doubled up behind that Iracing.com pace car. And the lights are being extinguished. Jake Roll going to start on the outside this time. Travis Gilbert in that 7th position. We get ready to come back to Green Flag Racing. Remind everybody that next week, same bat time and same bat channel, we will be at the Nashville Super Speedway. Alan Bergen and Liam Irving will bring you all the action. Wednesday night, don't forget to tune in to the EOL Rap Guys Cup Series as we bring you all the action. We bring you guys all the action from, I believe, That it is. It's Southern 250 It's gonna be throwback night there. Those guys this week. We're gonna run this back and go back to green flag racing here on lap 30, 96, 36 laps left to go here in stage 2. 36 is 120 seconds. 95 laps in the history book. The sun going down. It's the battle of the Smith. Are you on Team Smith or are you on Team Smith? Here comes Jacob Roll in that 39 car. He's working his way to the outside. Brian Smith says he's going to be uncontested to the end of stage 1. Can Brian Smith sweep the stages? Jason Metalwork says beautiful car as always. Design done by Tizio Designs. Meanwhile, enough about him. You're not missing anything up here in the front of the field. We got us a 4-car battle for the second position. Jacob Smith has it. Roll, Mackey, and Lockett wants it. As they are all bottlenecked up here. Here comes the 39 car to the outside. Ryan Patty up to the Kyle Larson line. He's going to try to knock down the wall down the back straightaway. Caution is out once again. Chris Cameron sits there on the apron of turn number 3. And this would be caution number 6 for cause. And Arnold Schwarzenegger himself back to the chopper and here just gets turned. We're going to try to take a closer look. And I believe that's... Ooh. I don't want to speculate, but I believe that's the 06 car. Let's do this. Let's go to Justin Bissonette here. So let's go here. Hanover Fest. Wasn't him. That's the car I'm banking on it being. Yeah, there's Chris Camburn right in front of him, and then just I don't think Chris Camburn realized he's going to be up there in the top curve, and just goes for a slide. As we come back out to the wide picture here. 6 caution for cause here on what is the longest race night of the year for the Icon Cup Series. Alan Bergen flying solo in the SRM booth tonight. I want to thank Nathan Finnegan for hanging out with me for stage number 1. Saturday night, live and in prime time, as we bring it back to the ECR Cup Series. They had Memorial Day off. They will be at Richmond, Virginia. So don't miss all that great racing action here on May 30th, Saturday night, May 30th. Mike DeMoney and Joe Manella bringing you all the action Saturday night with the ECR Cup Series. It's the Battle of the Smiths. It's a coincidence. As Jake Roel playing mind games with Brian Smith. Jacob Smith, Brian Smith going to be bringing us back to green flag racing. These guys are warming up the tires. We are in almost total darkness here on the closing end of stage number 2. And I want to say we've crossed over into the century mark. Icon 240 at Charlotte. Well underway. It's going to be Jacob Smith, Brian Smith on the front row, Chris Mackey, Jake Roll. Row number 2. Barney's got the flag in hand. As we are back to green flag racing to the Echo Park restart zone. Lap 101, and we got troubles already. Ryan Petty going around on the start. He's going to get it back rolling to do some free landscaping. We are working lap 42 of 120. We got just about 18 laps left to go in stage number 2. 102 of 240 is the lap distance. Lap 140 will go silent once again for the Memorial Day holiday, but nonetheless, Jacob Perel all over the back bumper, the rear deck lid of that 78 car. Jacob Smith to the outside of Zach Lockett. Zach Lockett working the inside. They're Goodyear to Goodyear. Chris Mackey trying to get into the mix here. Brian Smith, Jake Rowell, Zach Lockett out of Adrenaline Racing. The best Adrenaline Racing car other than Chris Mackey right behind him. He's got some help from his friends. They're single filed out. But Jake Rowell, we got a battle for the lead of brewing. The race would end right now. There would be rain right now. It would be Brian Smith, Jake Rowell. Brian Smith out front doing Brian Smith things. Ryan Patty in danger, going a lap down. Rowell going to go to the high side. He thinks he's down up there. We got 15 laps left in stage number 2. Working 105 of 240. I want to thank everybody for joining us here in the YouTube.com live chat. Rowell, Zach Lockett. Here comes the rocket, Zach Lockett to the outside. Chris Becky going to the inside. I think a lot of these drivers are starting to find something up there. Lockett trying to get around that 39 car. Lockett going to grab a little bit of the wall. Here comes Lockett to the outside. Rowell on the 39 car to the inside. Zach Lockett's found another lane and some more grip. Here he comes. Lockett to the outside. Still, they're going to do it. John Ford special. Lockett in second position. He's got second position. He's looking for one more. He's trying to get to the lead. Meanwhile, back here at fourth, Chris Mackey right behind Jake Rowell. Jake Rowell trying to stop the bleeding here. John McNeil in the McNeil Media 48 car. He's up 21 spots. Zach Lockett up 1. These big races, that's when the crown jewels win. Zach Lockett shows up and shows out. Stage number 2 drawing to a close. Brian Smith, Zach Lockett, Jake Rowell, your top 3. Chris Mackey. right there in fourth position. John McNeil running at the top 5. So we got 11 laps to go here in stage number 2. Just past the century mark. Ten laps to go. Zach Lockett being hounded all over by the 39 car. The 39 car all over that 93 machine of Zach Lockett. Zach Lockett continues to hold down at second position. Ladies and gentlemen, there's single filed out as Nathan Brosowski making a comeback run. He's in the stage points right now. Travis Gilbert almost on the outside looking in for stage points. He got stage points earlier. Lap 52, 8 laps to go here in stage number 2. Brian Smith. Continuing to lead here. Jacob Malone, he's battling back. He's in the stage points now. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, here we go. We got Nathan Brodowski and John McNeil battling it out here. This is for the top 5. Chris Mackey has it. John McNeil wants it. And so does Nathan Brodowski. Working lap 113 of 240. Brian Smith continuing to do Brian Smith things. They come down the back straightaway. Zach Lockett, did he save enough to get to the end of stage 2? Can he make a run at Brian Smith and dethrone and keep Brian Smith from taking stage number 2? He's 2 away from the hat trick. We're 6 laps away from the end of stage 2. Zach Lockett got to catch the wall. Don't want to do that too many times. We will not turn that down. Meanwhile, here comes Jake Rowell. Brian Smith not getting away. It's 0.2 of a second. There's the eyeball test. The top 3 are right there. You could throw a blanket over them. John McNeil trying to win the stage also. He's back there in third. He needs to find something. Nathan Brozowski, though, he's on the inside. Zach Lockett looking to the outside. He might try something here with 4 laps to go. He is all over the back bumper. There's the eyeball test. That's what the eyeball test shows. We're a little bit zoomed in here. And Brian Smith just gets a little bit better of a corner exit. Zach Lockett closing in, though. Does Zach Lockett have anything for Brian Smith? I like that corner entry. But they're closed. Down the back straightaway for the 118th time. We might get a good run to the end here. This is getting good. Zach Lockett all over the back bumper, the rear deck lid of that number 78 car. And that just shows you how close that these guys are. Here we are coming down to lap number 120. And the 10th car in line, Travis Gilbert gonna win the stage. Oh, we're going to lap 20. I stand corrected. Stage 2, the longest stage. I just Steve Harvey the stage. And there's the caution. 8th caution. Brian Smith's going to win stage number 2. Zach Lockett going to take second. Jake Royal going to take third. Fourth will go to John McNeil. Nathan Brzezowski. Jacob Smith going to take the sixth position. Chris Mack going to take seventh. Justin Bissonnette going to take eighth. Ninth will go to Travis Malone or Jacob Malone. Travis Gilbert will be the last car to get stage point. We're going to go ahead, step aside, and pay some bills here on Sim Racing Media. We're going to go side by side. You'll be right back. You won't miss a thing.
Premier Racing Setups is the longest running setup shop on iRacing. Our monthly subscription options start as low as $20 a month. We offer setups for dirt oval, asphalt oval, and road racing, covering a wide range of cars and skill levels. Built and tested by top-tier sim racers, this isn't just a business, it's a community of competitive drivers. If you want to better your iRacing experience, head over to PremierRacingSetups.com today. And remember, if you don't get one, you're going to chase one.
Welcome back to America's Home for Racing as we are just about getting ready to go green flag racing here. We'll start stage number 2. Brian Smith winning stage number 2. as we come back from commercial break. Alan Bergen here, just south of St. Louis here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Studio on a night where we remember the fallen brigade, the ultimate sacrifice here tonight. Brian Smith, Zach Lockett will bring us back to Green Flag Racing. It's been the Brian Smith Show, well, for a while now. So we want to thank everybody for joining us here in the youtube.com live chat, watching on your phones, in your homes, wherever you may be watching. Tonight, as the pace car is back in, Barney's got the green flag in hand. And we are getting ready to go back to Green Flag Racing. Here we go, lap number 125 of 240. And away we go. Brian Smith's going to jump out to the early lead. Here comes Jacob Smith right behind him. And then we got a whole gaggle of race cars right behind these guys. John McNeil, where did you come from, John McNeil? In the third position right now. The Rocket Zach Lockett mired back here in the fourth position. The race were to end under caution. That's where he would finish. John McNeil says he's had enough of riding in third place. He's going to go Goodyear to Goodyear with Jacob Smith. Jacob Smith going to grab the wall. John McNeil doing a John Ford special with the number 4 car. Brian Smith, he's all alone out there. 2/10 of a second lead, and that is growing. Jacob Smith looking to have an answer for John McNeil in the 48 car. The McNeil sponsor. Ooh, hang on to her, boys. Hang on to her. John McNeil gonna go around. We just saw that live here on the Sim Racing Media. Oh my word. Let's see what happened. And Jacob Smith, John McNeil just battling hard right now, and oh no. Collects Chris Mackey and Cody Eldred. Tough break at the beginning of stage number 2. Ninth caution, 8th caution for cause here tonight, as we are all the way under the lights here. No sunlight left. While these guys are riding around their caution, I'm going to go ahead and step aside myself. You won't hear me on the voice, so we'll be right back in a few. We're going to go turn it up style. Here after, actually we'll do it after the green flag here. After the green flag falls, we're going to have a little turn it up segment for a couple laps. The longest race of the night here. I don't think there would be any pit stops going on right now. Well, we just started stage 2, or stage 3 rather. Jake Raw and Chris Mackey in. Goggles Paisano in. Cody Eldred in. John McNeil. He's in the pits. Zachary King. He's in the pits. The Rocket, Zach Lockett, he's riding in the second position so far. Brian Smith, Jacob Smith, Jason Bissonette. Get ready to double these guys up here one more time. They're going to get doubled up behind that iRacing.com pace car. It's going to be Smith locking on your front row. 8 cautions for policy. We head down to that 3-4 complex one more time. We're going to get these guys. Barney's going to trade out that yellow flag for the green flag. Wait for it. Wait for it. You can see the field in the distance. Barney's got the green flag in hand. iRacing.com pace car going to make that hard left turn through the Echo Park restart zone, and we are back to green flag racing here in Charlotte. Lap 133 of lap 133 of 240. Brian Smith, Zach Lockett, Nathan Brzezowski, Travis Copeland. So we're going to go ahead and have a little crank it up for you. We'll be right back in a few minutes. I want to welcome everybody back. We had a little extended turn it up there. Let's see what happened to Cody Eldridge here in the 32 car.
Hey, Alan, you're muted on the stream. We're about finished.
I shouldn't be now. We got the Drift King in here. Are we good?
Oh,
Are
you're
we?
just a lot quieter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get that fixed up. I think we should be getting a little bit louder now. I'm just, you know what, I'm glad that you said something. So, little quick mic check there. There we go. We should be good. We should be good now. So we got the Jerk King in here in the broadcast booth. Jacob, while you're here, you know, here we are in the middle of stage number 3 here under caution. We get ready to back to green flag. What are you seeing out of this race so far? I believe he's muted. Oh, you know what? We're gonna bring next we're gonna bring up John McNeil. He's in the gears. John McNeil want to talk about his race. Let's go ahead and bring him up. John McNeil joining us in the broadcast booth. How's it going?
Going pretty good. How's it going for you up there?
Well, look, if you're talking to me, your night ain't going so well.
Well, that's true. I shouldn't have said pretty good, but it sucks. But it was fun being up front for a while and having a good car, being able to run up front there.
Yeah, as we come back to green, look, it's been an all-star night type situation going on. Brian Smith leads the field back to green flag racing here on lap 148 of 240. And, you know, we're almost just past the halfway. I want to apologize to everybody for the lack of my sound. I know I like to hear myself talk, but so would the rest of the country and stuff. It's a one-man show, so I can take my break.
For sure. This race has been very eventful and honestly had a huge swing. I don't know how much you guys could see from up here, but at the beginning the cars were a huge handful. Like it was fun to drive. It really was. And then right about the middle of stage 2 there, it just got really comfortable, and I mean everybody just had so much more speed. We're flying through the field, and it's mainly just, you know, your approach to the corners, how it changes throughout the night, right? So it's not just the same run every time. I mean, look at all of adrenaline. Like I was really impressed with stage 2 there for these guys, and everybody else is also, they're holding it together well.
Yeah, you know, just as you mentioned, you know, part of adrenaline racing, and you know, being a teammate of Zach Lockett, how much has that helped you from last season to this season?
Honestly, that's been a huge change for me. You know, right? Like I was a maybe top 15 car running, you know, on a good day. I had a couple of top 10s and a top 5 or so. Just working with, I mean, look where Zach is, right? Or Nate is right now, right? Battling for 3rd place and legitimately up there, right? It's not like strategy put him there. I think the biggest thing is Zach really pushed me to, hey, you need to run more officials, and just putting in the work. And I mean, it made a huge difference of just like understanding the car and, you know, and what we have going on.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, that'll lead to my next question. You know, we also on the team, you don't see him much in this league, but having the boss John Ross last year, a part of that team, and I'm sure he does a lot of behind the scenes testing with you guys. You know, him and
Yeah.
Zach Lockett, they're almost like a powerhouse, if you will.
For sure. I mean, John has and had a ton of speed there, you know, when we first all met. And I wasn't on near as often, so him and Zach would race a lot. And Zach's the one that's honestly like passed a lot of that info down to me and really helped. And honestly, just the reps in here. I mean, just being able to be patient with the throttle is like one of the biggest things. I mean, just look at your top 10 guys, right? You know, they're ones that are patient, they have speed, but they don't wear out the tires. You know, they don't overdrive it. You know, they drive aggressively. But yeah.
Yeah, as much as I talk about the racing, I want to talk about your sponsor, McNeil Media. What is McNeil Media?
So that's my company. I do a lot of like photography, videography, do some graphic design stuff and whatever. You know, it's like, oh, as we got a caution, a wreck, or I don't know, a caution, there's a big wreck. I'll let you.
We're going to stay green for right now. Brian Smith continues to lead this meeting. It looks like they recovered fine. Zach Lockett's still on pit road getting damage repair.
Yeah, it looked like Patty involved in that. Oh, geez. Yeah, anyway, so I do a lot of that stuff, you know, on the weekends and stuff, so I stay super busy. But yeah, so thanks to McNeil Media and then McConey Setups on this year. I don't have them on the car tonight, and I'm not exactly sure why paint schemes haven't been showing up the last couple nights, but yeah, we can
we can dive into that a little bit later on.
Yeah.
And you know, here as we watch Brian Smith do Brian Smith things here in lap 157 of 240. Sorry, I had to finish my dinner so I can get my snack later on. Look,
yeah, I think that it's really. Go ahead. Sorry.
I don't get ice cream cones unless I finish my dinner.
I think it's really interesting seeing, like, looking at some of our top drivers here as well. Like in the top 10, 6 of them started or have gained like over 20 or over 10 spots since the start of the race. Like look at Travis Gilbert. He's up 20 since the beginning of the race, just slowly like working through the field. Jake Roel, Zachary King, you know, a lot of these guys just making really good progress. And I think, you know, doing really well, just being smooth in that and really being able to handle that transition. As also, I don't know if you saw, but Ryan Patty just got into the wall there pretty hard as well. I wonder if he had some damage from hitting the wall there pretty hard on the front stretch.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I'm glad you alluded to that there. Ryan Patty battling it out with Goggles Paisano or Robert Bloom, as we called him last summer. But, you know, here in the middle part of the stage, you know, as we were working our way through stage number 2, or stage number 3, at the end of stage number 3, it's going to be an all-out battle royale, if you will. You know,
yeah, absolutely. And look at just the battle for the lead here and just choosing which lane, right? Like, so you can see there the 3, he's trying that low lane, which is really good on entry, but you lose a ton of that on exit. But if you can clear him up to either slide him or to even just take away some of that momentum and stay next to him in order to get him on the next corner, I think that's what it's all about at this race, because you can't follow somebody. The dirty air is just so bad. They're at the end of stage 2. I mean, look at Zach Lockett. He was really close to almost passing Brian. My spotter, Greg, first off, thank you to him for being there. But he was telling us that him and I were the fastest ones in the top 10 every lap. But then once we got right behind him, we just couldn't make a move on him. As you can see here, Travis, it's having that same issue right now.
Brunzowski gets into the inside wall hard. We're going to stay under green. Oh my goodness. Your teammate just clobbered the inside wall there. And we're going to see what happened here. I'm going to go back and look for that one. Nathan Brozowski gets hard into the inside wall.
For sure. I'll let you go back to your broadcasting and everything. Thanks for having me in.
Hey, anytime, and the door is wide open for you, and we'll chat at you hopefully later, and hopefully on the podium.
Sounds good. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Yep, and that was the voice of John McNeil. As we're gonna go back to the live picture here. We're still under green flag. Nathan Brodowski into the pits. Meanwhile, as we were talking to John McNeil, Brian Smith and Travis Gilbert had decided to go Goodyear to Goodyear, tit for tat on this battle for the lead. On the longest icon race of the year, as we were just about 20 laps at the end of stage number 3. Travis Gilbert channeling his inner Dale Earnhardt, trying to get around Brian Smith here for Bentley Glazer. Has definitely started coming. Zach Lockett back on the racetrack. Jacob Malone, he's off the racetrack right now. As we are working lap 165 of 240. Alan Birkin in here in the SRM booth with just about anybody that wants to stop by. I want to thank John McNeil for his insights on tonight's race. Working lap number 166. We are coming to the end of stage number 3. Nathan Brodowski out of this one. Brodowski 5 laps down now. Ryan Patty's still on the race, still on the in this battle. Powell winning your race to the beer stand. Meanwhile, at the end of 167 laps, it's been Brian Smith. Will Brian Smith sweep the stages? Can he get the hat trick? Jason Metalworks looking to take a bow. Only Rowdy Bush style. Lap 169, lap 168 laps in the history books. Billy Glazer looking to catch up and get to the end of this stage as well. Brian Smith, Travis Gilbert continuing to battle it out here as we have just 11 laps to go here in the stage. Coming down to 10 laps to go in stage number 3. We're working our way to lap 180. 10 laps to go in stage number 3. Brian Smith, Travis Gilbert, Bentley Glazer, your top 3 here. Can anybody dethrone Brian Smith off of the podium here for the stage wins? Nine laps to go here in stage number 3. Stage 2 ended at lap 120. Stage 3 gonna end at lap number 180. Then we're gonna make a quick run to the end. on Icon's longest night. Pitling Laser continues to run third. Jacob Ruel trying to do everything he can to catch up to that 36 car. It's still anybody's game right now. Still anybody's game. Brian Smith continues to lead here as we got 7 laps to go here in stage number 3. I want to thank everybody for giving me just a little bit of grace also. This is a solo effort tonight. Liam Irving on assignment. He'll be back with us next week. Taking a look one more time at the weather with 6 laps to go here in stage number 2 as we are under total darkness. New Year down to 68. The track temp has gone up actually to 39 degrees. The humidity has gone up to 86% relative humidity. And the wind has picked up a little bit and we're seeing 7 miles an hour. Taking a look, if you're just joining us, here's that race recap. As we have had 10 cautions for 30 laps, 7 lead changes. Brian Smith is your current leader, 176 laps. 176 laps, 240 to be ran here. A race analogist, a race analogy. We are working that 3rd stage right now. 5 landings to go. 5 laps to go in the stage number 3. Travis Gilbert following behind the 78 car, Brian Smith. Brian Smith continues to lead this piece. Jason Metalworks cheering on Brian. The missile. Four laps to go for the hat trick. Make it 3. Jerking saying I was muted earlier. I'm not muted now. Probably need to put the mic a little closer to me, but we're definitely not muted. Lap 178 of 240, 177 laps in the history book. It's been all Brian's all night long. As he is up 5 spots, Travis Gilbert up 20. The biggest mover out of the race so far is Zachary King, who's up 22 spots. Zach Lockett down 14 laps to keep that issue. 2 laps to go in stage number 3. Working lap 180, 181. The 10th car will trip the caution lights. Brian Smith holding off the number 78 car. Holding off that number 3 car, Travis Gilbert. Off of turn number 4. To win stage number 3, it's going to be the missile, Brian Smith. And that's going to trip the 11th caution. 9 cautions for cause. Brian Smith getting the hat trick. We're going to talk to him just a bit. Stage number 3 comes to a close with Brian Smith finishing first, winning stage 3, and he has got the hat trick here tonight. We're on lap number 180. Pace car is going to pick him up in turn number 1. And after he comes up pit road, we're going to have a little chat with Mr. Brian Smith. Brian Smith, Travis Gilbert, Bentley Glazer, Jake Ruel, Michael Taylor, Zachary King, Charlie Widener, Kevin Gunther, Brock Hersey, and Jacob Smith all getting stage points. But we have another special guest, Shane Cochran. Shane, how's it going?
Not too bad, Alan. Happy to be back in the booth here with you. Did not make tonight's race on time. Had a big party all weekend. Was not up for getting onto my PC in time for this one with no practice or anything. So we're here now. Long time no see.
Hey, you know what they say, better late than never. And, it's been all Brian Smith all race long. And when these guys come out of the pits, I've got a lot of questions for Brian. Like, where's he buying his jet fuel these days?
Yeah, I mean, he has been unstoppable all season, even more so than last season, it seems like.
Yeah, and that's the thing is we've had 3 guests, but right now, let's go ahead and talk to the driver of that number 78 car, Brian Smith. We're going to bring him up to the broadcast booth. Brian Smith, is Alan and Shane up here in the booth. Got a copy.
I got you guys.
Hey, look, man. First of all, congratulations on getting the hat trick.
Oh yeah, thank you.
I believe winning 3 stages in the Icon Cup Series holds that equivalent. So, and since you're from Michigan and primarily a hockey state, nonetheless.
Yeah, I'm not a huge hockey fan, but definitely appreciate the hat trick on the stage sweep. It'd be nice to finish it off and get the quadfecta or whatever you want to call it.
I don't know what they call it. I don't know. At that point, I'm breaking out the broom. But if you win this race, you have to take a selfie or a picture. You doing a bow. I want a Kyle Busch bow. And
yeah, we might have to do that. We're certainly trying to drive like Rowdy tonight. There's no doubt about that. Definitely struggled getting out of my pit box that last time. My foot slipped off the accelerator pedal and lost 2 spots. So this will be the first restart I haven't controlled in a while. So I'm not feeling too good about that. We'll just have to see what happens and hit the strategy right on this final stage because Gilbert's really quick. He came on there on that 3rd stage for sure.
Yeah, you just took the words right out of my mouth. Here in that 3rd stage, especially at the end, Travis Gilbert was really hounding you. What's going to be your plan as you come down the back straightaway with 1 to go to keep that number 3 car right behind you?
Well, if he gets out to too big of a lead where I feel like I'm going to have to do it on pit strategy, I'll probably just try and save my stuff. I think this opens up 2 tires for a possibility. I think it opens up maybe short pitting. We'll just have to see how this goes and what happens on this restart because I don't know. I haven't driven in dirty air for a while, so we'll just have to see how it goes.
Look, man, we're getting ready to go back to green. Good luck, and hopefully we talk to you on the other side.
Yep, thanks, Alan.
Yep, and that was Brian Smith. Shane, you joined me at the right time here. Brian Smith getting the hat trick. And we're getting ready to bring these guys back to Green Flag Racing. It's going to be Travis Gilbert, Bentley Glazer on the front row here as we go back to green. We're racing like Rowdy in the stage number 4. Travis.
Yeah, there's really nothing like racing at Charlotte under the lights, whether it's a Coke 600 or an All-Star race or whatever. This is just so much fun. 95 sideways.
Charlie Widener gets a little bit sideways. He's going to keep it going. Shane, you have officially been on both sides in the broadcast on the racetrack. There is no one better than you right now to give these analogies and how hard. I mean, this league's tough as it is. but you know, you've led laps in this league. You got your stage points in this league. How was this league what you expected behind the wheel, as we found out last year in the broadcast booth?
Yeah, I mean, it's everything I expected from a professionalism standpoint. All these drivers, I mean, they know what they're doing. There's not a lot of rookie mistakes going on out there. But what surprised me is it isn't just that they're fast. It's that they take every opportunity, every run they get, they're going to shoot to your inside and make the pass. You do not get a chance to breathe. You know, and coming in, I think I'm a little more of a slow roll driver, take it easy in stage one, feel out the tires in the car. You can't do that in this league. You'll be too far behind on track position.
Yeah, definitely. You alluded to that very well. And once again, we're seeing in 2026, as we saw in 2025, it's the Brian Smith show all day long. Jacob Orwell trying in that third position, and also as we've seen last year and this year, a lot of comers and goers in this race. And Shane, my goals psychologically for me, my goals for you, and I'm sure Papa Cochran would agree to this. Just run all the laps, learn what you can, and everything else is icing on the cake.
Yeah, I don't think we've missed a lap yet this season, but we've spent a lot of them with damage a couple laps down. So, yeah, it's just what you said. We're trying to be there at the end and claw everything we can out of it. I believe I'm only one spot out of the chase cutoff at the moment. Missing this race might hurt a little bit, but we're right there on the cusp. And I know both me and my dad are having a blast here with the Icon Cup Series.
Yeah, definitely. And I love watching. I call me a little biased, but I get to root for you every Sunday. Every Sunday I get to open up the mic with Liam and root you on all summer long. As right now we're watching Travis Gilbert do it for Dale in that number 3 car as he has opened up a half-second lead over Brian Smith. This is the first time in 3 stages that Brian Smith has not led any amount of laps here, as he's been clawing and fighting his way. Now, it's no surprise, Shane, that these guys, there's an outside line that these guys are not even began to touch.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like any intermediate track. You're looking for clean air. If you're out front, I think you're right. I think the bottom lane is where it's at. A little different from some of the tracks we've run the last few weeks where it was actually the high line at Old Atlanta. That was where all the speed was. But here at Charlotte, yeah, when you're out front, you're on the bottom, but you got to find clean air if you're that second car like Brian is right now. He's peaking maybe that middle lane. He's still not up all the way to the wall, but he might be there if he needs to use it to make a pass.
He's not running that Kyle Larson line just yet, and we know yesterday was a big day for you, as minus the Monaco race. You still had Indy cars in the morning, Coke 600, and I'm not gonna lie, if that tribute to Rowdy was a tearjerker.
Yeah, I mean, as everybody, I'm hurting this week with the loss of Kyle, and to be able to see it across the Formula One race played tribute, Indy played tribute, and Charlotte, NASCAR obviously doing all that. It's just been it's been a really uniting feeling. A driver that was so divisive, earlier in his career, but we all, respected him whether we knew it or not at the time. Just a big loss for the racing community worldwide.
Yeah, and I mean you're right there in Richmond, Virginia. You every year you go. I'm pretty sure you go to the NASCAR race every year when they.
Oh yeah, I've seen Kyle win multiple times here in the River City. Always put on a great show.
Did you see the incident where Kyle Busch gets into, or Dale Jr. gets into Kyle Busch?
That was
chef kisses him into the wall.
That was a few years before I moved to Richmond. That was when I was in college. I mean, but I remember watching it. I can tell you exactly which chair in the B-dubs I was sitting in when it happened.
You can almost tell you what order he ordered down to the. I ordered a 10
I mean, I do remember because what I ordered was nothing but Mountain Dew. and when maybe that was a different race. Whatever it was just such a good race that the server said it was on the house. But I must have downed a couple gallons of that delicious Mountain Dew.
You know, and here's the thing, and I alluded this to Nathan Finnegan, you know, that one, you know, look, it's no secret, I'm a music lover. I think music heals all wounds, and as we're watching Travis Gilbert, and I just keep going back to that Charlie Puth and Wiz Khalifa song, and that's the song that just is on repeat in my head all week, on my playlist all week, you know. And every other short that you see on YouTube got it. I mean, there's just no better fitting tribute than what we've seen on YouTube. And you know, how brave of Samantha Bush to be at the racetrack last night, where you know her husband just, you know, a week ago in a truck race, you know, just obliterated the field, and you know, here we are just laying 8 roses on his number.
Yeah, I mean, not even just that, right? Technically, he was on the pole for the race, that truck race, as the qualifying got rained out, and just, I mean, it's just, yeah, it just hits you how real it is, and we got to keep racing, we got to keep going forward, and add him to the list of drivers gone too soon.
Yeah, exactly, and you know, they said it best all week long. He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. You know, they're going to waive all the stuff and, you know, all the protocols. They're gonna get him in, and I can't wait to see it. I want to say it's gonna happen next year. We never know. 200, or we're working lap number 99, 200, and we are well into stage number 3 here, or stage number 4 rather. There is a pit stop built into each of these stages, as you recall from last year, and I bringing up notes from last year. Brian Smith looking to go back to back as he gets Goodyear to Goodyear with Travis Gilbert. He's going to take the spot. He's been working on Travis Gilbert for, well, since the whole time we've been talking about Rowdy Bush.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot deny Brian this season. He's first in points, and I believe his points lead is something like over 100 points. Back to second place, Malone. And as much as Brian is putting on a dominant season, Jacob Malone has got to be the surprise. I'm not sure how much you guys have talked about him. I have a race with Jacob in another league, and he's been back-to-back champion over there. And so I think he's the perfect challenger to kind of shake up the Mount Rushmore here at Icon. The Brian Smith, Nathan Finnegan, Ryan Patty, you know, Jacob Smith, Travis Gilbert, all these guys that are perennial powerhouses over here. That this is the first time I can remember we've had a new driver come up and you know, put the challenge on him.
Well, just as you talk about Jacob Malone. Jacob Malone out of this one here tonight. He has put it on the hauler. He has fun respect out. I was telling Nathan Finnegan, poor Jacob Malone, he starts off these races really well, but by the middle and end of that point, if he puts one together, he's gonna win. And I'm pretty sure at this point in the season, Jacob Malone won a small sliver of that horseshoe that Brian Smith has shoved up in the trunk of his car.
Yeah, I think the other thing that's been really fun as a driver that I didn't experience as much broadcasting last season is that this league has a lot of chirping on the radio, Alan. They do not mince words, and it is nonstop through the race. And Malone has jumped right in with the big dogs, and they are going back and forth all race long. It's been really entertaining in the car, especially when we've got damage running a few laps down or something. It keeps it exciting.
You mean Shane Cochran doesn't get spicy on race radio?
I think the answer is no. I don't. I'm pretty quiet. I try to keep it to myself, and then if I need to talk to somebody, I'll do it after the race and offer to buy them a beer.
Just a great Dale Earnhardt fashion, ladies and gentlemen. We got Shane Cochran out of the booth this year, into the race car this year. You know, spent 2025 with me all summer long. You know, I consider you a great friend of mine, and you know, it's like the conversation never really ended when you and I get to just chat it up, and especially watch great racing here with the Icon Cup Series. And Liam's doing a fantastic job this year and stepping in, taking over for you while you take on this new adventure. And, we get to see all the great things that you get to do over with SDK and all these great overlays that we get to show you week in and week out, and even translates into other leagues. And I know you watch these other shows, and I'm glad you're up here in the booth because we get to talk about it. But what is it like seeing your overlays, seeing your work on other broadcasts? And I know I probably hurt your head more times than not last year.
No, it's been a blast, yeah. So that's kind of the reason I stepped out of the booth, as we see the 31 get sideways there on the backstretch. He's going to straighten it out, though. That was Kevin Gunther. But yeah, for me, stepping out of the booth to focus my time on a new small business I started, making custom overlays for broadcast channels, SRM. I'm always shooting you guys some stuff. We've got some new ones coming up here in a few weeks. I'll get you a project file together. But yeah, like you said, some of these overlays have a life of their own once they get on a channel that happens to have a big race, whether it's a charity race or just something big. One of my customers has a league with SVG in it, and that's pretty exciting to watch and things. But I always come back here to the Sim Racing Media channel. This is where it all started. And probably the best part is not just seeing my overlays out there, but seeing them used correctly and in a way to make the race narrative better for the audience. That's what it's really all about.
Yeah, it definitely is. We're watching Brian Smith here. We're working lap 209. We got just about 30 laps left to go here in this one. Make it 31 laps to go. And, it's Brian Smith doing Brian Smith things out to a 7/10 of a second lead. That's the eyeball thing. And, a lot of tribute cars I've seen over the weekend. Whether I've run the officials for the Coke 600. Not everybody knows this, Shane. I don't know if you know this, but Kyle Busch did drive a Team Zero car that Scott Bluequist put together for him. And effectively with the 51 number on there and the M&M sponsor. So how cool, I've been in dirt racing all week long and seeing all the Kyle Busch dirt late models out there. The Racers Elite, I tuned into that. A lot of them guys running, schemes to commemorate Kyle Busch. Just the iRacing community as a whole, just holy cow.
Yeah, like I said, it just brought us all together, whether you're a fan or someone that just loved to see him as the heel.
I mean,
pretty amazing.
Every sport needed a villain, and he was that guy. And he's the guy that everybody loved to hate. And I didn't like him starting out because he won all the freaking time.
Yeah. And I know you're looking at that Kyle Busch scheme right now, but there is a heck of a battle shaping up from about 4th back through 9th. The 32 of Cody Eldred has pulled ahead of Mike Taylor just now, but there is a whole swarm of cars right behind both of them.
Yeah, this is about to get good right here. We're working lap 213 of 240. And Shane, once again, just the doors will always wide open. Crash out earlier. Papa Sean wants to come, not Papa Sean, but if Papa Cocker was to come up here, and I know he's dabbled in broadcasting with you. As we were watching this magnificent battle. Here comes, oh my goodness, Jacob Smith to the outside. He's going to ride the wall. And not quite the kale melon, but pretty close. Minus the melon.
And I think we've got a couple cars in this group, at least one going to hit pit road. That's the 31. Gives a little more breathing room to these battles, but they're still side by side.
It's been like that for the last 214 laps. I mean, there's, dare I say it, more action than a Waffle House at 3 a.m.
Depends on the Waffle House, but I know those ones over in St. Louis where you are. They must be cranking it up.
You know, so what?
78 to pit road now, as well as roll.
And as my good friend Liam would say, you got to be the first to pit last. This could be the money stop. We knew each stage had a pit stop built in. Travis Gilbert going to take over the race lead. Cody Eldred in second position. Cody Eldred, Jacob Smith real close together. Travis Gilbert, I gotta wonder, Travis Gilbert is one of those guys, Shane, that's real good at those fuel mileage races. And I don't think he's going to be on the Maxwell House strategy, but he could be.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, being that close to the front, you've got to wonder how big of a gamble do you want to take here.
Well, right now, speaking of gambles, my poor iPhone has just taken a beating from my standing clock.
I mean, it looks like the tire fall off here on the run about 1.2 seconds. So every lap that Gilbert stays out, Smith is gaining and building his lead. Now the fresher tires in the next run might pay off as well, but it hurts when I see someone running in the top 3 stay out this long and give up that much time.
And, you know, going back to last season, I know you had those moments in the booth where you're like, when's he going to pit? When's he going to pit?
Now, I mean, he's nursing this 6-second lead over Eldred. This might be the time, Alan. Nope, not this time. Someone was on the radio saying they were going to pit.
We're getting ready to find out here. I want to bet it was Cody Eldred. Here comes the 32 car pulling the proverbial parachute. He's going to come down. He's going to give up second position to Brock Hersey as Zachary King. Zachary King, his mother usually is in the YouTube.com live chat. Have not seen her tonight. Hope all is well with Zachary King. And, you know, always got a fan in there. And, you know, Shane, I know you got youngsters at home. Do they get to watch Dad race on Sunday nights?
No, but hey, if we have a good one, they're going to watch the replay the next day. But no, part of my racing life is getting the kids in bed before I get in the sim rig.
That's the number one chore from Shane Cochran.
I mean, especially because I use VR, and if a child comes up and taps you on the shoulder and you can't see them, you're gonna be in the wall. That's for sure. They've scared the bejesus out of me more than once doing that. So I try to get them in bed before I get to racing.
I mean, sometimes I need to be in bed before I go racing too, but nonetheless, Benadryl helps me go to sleep. Brock Hersey trying to catch up, trying to close in on a 7.5 second deficit. We're waiting on Travis Gilbert. We're watching Travis Gilbert right now. He's going to have to pull that proverbial parachute, and here he comes. And Shane, I got to imagine this is going to be 0 tires.
Yeah, I don't know. It could go either way.
I mean, do you take the gamble? We're running 4 stages here.
I think,
man,
if it's me, I'm going 2 tires. If I want to save some time on the stop, I'll do it that way. I can't give up that much speed by going no tires. Like I said, I think the fall off is over a second. So even if you save the 4 seconds, not getting all 4 tires compared to 2, you're just gonna. I don't think the math is mathing on that one.
Well, back on the back side of this strategy here, Brian Smith is now. This is going to be a race for the lead right now. Brian Smith, when he comes around, Brock Hersey's on pit road right now. Brian Smith will essentially do Brian Smith things and take over the race lead with a 26-second gap. There's the eyeball stuff. This gap's really going to significantly close once Brian Smith takes over. There it is, 2 seconds back. Not a tall order at lap 224 to catch Brian Smith. So,
yeah, and let's taking a look at that tire strategy we were just talking about. Brian and Jacob both on 2 tires, but Bentley Glazer on 4. So he might have a little bit of a speed advantage on those front two.
Yeah, as we're looking at the last pit stop information here, and this is the best overlay you could have put up here. Brian Smith on 2 tires, Jacob Smith on 2 tires. You don't see 4 tires until you get to Bentley Glazer. And then Roel took 4 tires, Mackey, then Taylor, Patty, Gunther takes 4, Eldred takes 4, and Travis Gilbert on 2 tires in 3rd position. Anthony Tizio checking in the live time or the YouTube.com live chat, saying Brian for the win, flying Brian Smith. Lap 226 out to a 2.5 second lead over Jacob Smith. No relation. We found out last year that, like in the movie Office Space, that's a coincidence. Kind of like Michael Bolton. I mean,
so we were doubting Gilbert's ability to work the strategy out, but he is gaining on the 2 guys in front of him right now.
For Gilbert, he's going to have to pass Jacob Smith very efficiently, and he's going to have to do it quick so he can run down Brian Smith. If not, Brian Smith's going to go back to back and chalk up another win in the win column. Which I was talking to Nathan Finnegan, during the first stage, and want to thank Nathan and John McNeil and you for joining me up here in the booth. Nathan Finnegan, I was telling Nathan that Brian Smith, with all the drop weeks, could literally take the last month of the season off and probably still win the championship.
Yeah, but he's going to have to worry about that number 3 car tonight. Allen, he's gotten around Jacob Smith. I'm looking at the lap time. He's about 0.2 a lap faster than Brian. And with 12 laps to go, that basically has them catching each other on the final lap. This one's going to come down to the end.
It's about to get good, ladies and gentlemen. Look, these people they bought the whole seat, and they're only going to need the edge. As you mentioned it just a second ago, you can see the interval just dropping like it saw a state trooper on the side of the road. Hey, I practiced that for just a minute. Travis Gilbert now closing in. He's at 2 seconds, just about even, 1.9. And Travis Gilbert closing in to Brian Smith like he owes him lunch money. Says, get back here.
Yeah, Gilbert really putting the pedal to the metal now. He's gaining almost 0.4 a second over the last 5 laps. I've got him catching him in 5 laps, Alan. My calculator is on fire trying to figure this one out.
Well, you can see that number 78, Jason Metalwork, Ford Mustang Darkwork, getting just a little bit bigger as we're on the roof of Travis Gilbert in that bet2track.org card. And what a great organization to have on the race car here tonight for Travis Gilbert. And you said it best, it's now down to a second and a half.
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to lap traffic now. Brian's got to make sure he doesn't let anybody throw dirty air on the nose. Just stay focused and hit his marks.
You said it best. Here's the eyeball test. I love that aerial shot right there. We are high up top of the spotter stand coming through the quad oval here at Charlotte Motor Speedway here in Concord, North Carolina. Down the back straightaway, it's 1.2 seconds. And Shane, it's going to be real close.
Yeah, Gilbert is not gaining with the same speed he was a couple laps before. I think he's going to catch him with about 2 to go if they keep up the pace they're running now. Like I said, this one's just going to come down to the end, and catching him's just one part of this accomplishment. You've got to get around him. Easier said than done when it's at 78 out front.
I've said it all season long. as Travis Gilbert within a second, and Shane's calculations adding up here. His math is mathing. Travis Gilbert is licking his chops like a lion in the weeds waiting. 9/10 of a second. It's a half-second interval. There's your eyeball test. Wow. I can't believe this. You got to be kidding me.
It's just going to come right down to it. 5 laps to go. Gilbert gaining about 0.2 a lap.
He's there.
But he's also starting to get in that wake. They're running pretty similar lines. He's going to have to do something a little bit different to keep clean air on the nose.
We got 4 laps left to go here in this one. I mean, barring a mistake. Now they got the 84 car ahead of them. But is it going to be enough time to stay in the hourglass? They're starting to run out for Travis Gilbert in that number 3 car. Brian Smith. Can he be dethroned? Is he going to go back to back? This will be the second win here at this racetrack. Last year he won the longest race of the Icon Cup Series. This year he's poised to do it again.
And they're dead even on lap times. That last time around, that's not going to be enough for Gilbert to get there.
I don't think we see a caution. I think Travis Gilbert's going to come up a little bit short.
He's been tagging the wall a little bit on exit too. He is surely pushing hard to get the victory here. That's Charlotte.
Whoa, we just see it close in. Travis Gilbert just found another gear, closed it in just a little bit, 0.7 of a second.
Just 2.5 laps to go, Alan.
Off of turn number 4, 2 laps left to go. Popsicle sticks in the air.
Gilbert in the wall again off of 4.
I mean, Brian Smith is being oh so good off corner exit. That's where he's making up most of his time. They got the 84 car right in front of him. That's going to play in the hands as we come down to the white flag. As the popsicle sticks go down, the white flag is in the air. Barney, we got 1 lap to go. Shane, we got 1 lap to go. To the inside, he's going to pass the 84 car efficiently. That's not what Travis Gilbert needed.
Woo! Had me nervous there. The lap car tagged the wall on the front stretch, trying to give Brian plenty of room.
Off in turn number 4 out into turn number 3 for the final time. 240 laps coming to the checker flag, and Brian Smith will take Icons. 240, the longest race in the Icon Cup Series, goes to Brian Smith. Travis Gilbert going to finish 2nd. Jacob Smith going to finish 3rd as he goes back to back. Last week, Shane, we saw an all Icon podium, or an all Roll Smith podium at the All-Star race. This week, it's going to be Brian Smith picking up a win again. Chalk another one up in the win column for Brian Smith. I'm pretty sure he's not going to need any drop weeks.
Yeah, I mean, that's win 7 on the season for Brian.
A lot of these guys are going to go back to the drawing book and figure out what they got to do to beat this guy. But meanwhile, he's going to go and burn it down on the front straightaway. And I told him if he won this thing, I wanted a picture of him taking a bow on his race rig. So, what an emotional win. I'm sure Brian is full of emotions. I can't wait to talk to these guys as he's going to do it in rowdy fashion. And wow.
They're putting on a show out there at the start-finish line.
Oh, yeah, Jake Rowell, finishes 5th, and Jacob Smith. We're going to get to talk to both of them guys, or Jacob Smith and Brian Smith. And the Polish victory lap. Okay. A little trivia for you. Polish victory lap was, well, you already know the answer to that question. Alan Kowicki.
Yeah, I feel these days it's Hocevar's the one out there setting the bar really high on these celebrations.
I would,
Makes me wish we could get Carl Edwards back in the car to bring the backflip back.
I'm not that flexible, nor am I. Yeah, I'm not doing that. But nonetheless, let's talk to our top three. Let's get rid of that. And let's go ahead and bring up our race winner here. And that's going to be Brian Smith.
Sure.
The missile, Brian Smith. Brian Smith, congratulations on win number 7. Take us through that race. And, well, what was it like for you out there?
Oh my gosh. So yeah, like I was saying in that interview I did at stage 3, it was going to come down to nailing that strategy, and we've seen it play out, in these next gen cars taking 2 tires to finish off these green flag pit stops has been the call in the past, and there it was again. I was very nervous there. Travis was so fast at the end of that race. I don't know what he found out or what I was doing wrong, but I was watching that relative, and I mean, I think I came out 4 seconds ahead of him, and he had it down under a second. So I was very nervous. He was definitely quicker than me at the end there, but long run speed in the first half of that final stage was the name of the game, and just staying true to the bottom and trying not to burn my stuff up paid off, and I was able to get around him pretty easy, and didn't have to waste too much time in the dirty air. But what a fun night. What a great track. So much fun doing this longer race. It's obviously the Coke 600 in real life is such a big race, so it's a big race for us to do this, our longest race of the year too. So yeah, what a night.
Now, are we gonna see a picture of Brian Smith doing the old Rowdy Bush bow and posting it on Discord?
How about I'll do a virtual bow right now? How about that?
I wish we
So
had
my driver's out of the car right now doing a virtual bow. There we go.
Nonetheless, 7 wins. Before we get you out of here, who do you want to thank and who helped you get it done on that 78 car?
Like every week, Jason Metalworks is the sponsor on this car, so thanks, Henry. Anthony Tizio Designs did the paint. Thanks, Ant, and thanks to you guys for doing the broadcast. Now this was a long race, so great job sticking it out. And yeah, I hope everyone watching enjoyed it, and great job to everyone on track. It was a fun battle out there between Travis and Lockett was super fast, and Patty and Jacob and everyone that was up front tonight did a great job. So it would have been fun to battle Nathan. I know he would have really liked driving this thing tonight, like I tried to tell him earlier. But yeah, that should about do it. I don't know if I'll be racing Nashville, so we'll see about that. So it might be a couple weeks before I see you guys again. But yeah,
like I told Nathan in stage 1, I feel like you could take a month off and with all the drop weeks and still be in the points lead.
Yeah, tonight winning 3 stages and winning the race, that should do wonders for the point standings. That's pretty crazy now that I think about it.
Look, on a side note, I tried convincing Nathan Finnegan to put a bounty on you or make you start from the back. In all fairness,
You know what? We might try something like that. I got to get up in those power rankings, and start passing some cars instead of just staying up front. But we started this race and everyone was, blowing by me and burning their tires up, and I'm like, haven't you guys figured it out by now? Like, you got to save your stuff.
I will say
that's the name of the game.
I will say this: Nathan Finnegan, has nothing but great things to say about you, being it's in this league. It does wonders when a guy like you is in a league with true professionals, just beating the pants off of everybody and making this league so much better and these drivers so much better. Even on the mile and a half, you're coaching these guys, making them better, and I just want to say thank you. and
Well,
I can't wait to see you on the next one.
Oh, thanks, Alan. That means a lot. And I have nothing but good things to say about Finnegan myself. He's improved so much since I started running this league with him, and I've seen guys like Lockett get so much better over these last few years, and Gilbert, and I could keep going on and on. And Malone's super fast, but yeah, for me when I run stuff that's out of my wheelhouse, like GT3 or IMSA, and I run guys that are just so much quicker than me, that's what I use as motivation. And I mean, I've been on the simulator now for, I don't know, 15, 14 years. I don't know, something crazy like that. But so yeah, I got a lot of laps under my belt. I run this league to run with my friends, and it's just a fun, casual league, and made some friends along the way too. So I appreciate the kind words, and yeah, we'll look to keep this hot streak going. I think this is 4 in a row.
I think, Shane, while we're up here, I think if I heard you right, last season you didn't know, you're kind of on the fence about running a full season, and I think you got through Daytona. You're like, you know what? I think we're gonna do this.
Yeah, honestly, like I said, I like to challenge myself. I looked into running a league with open setups because that's just something that I don't know anything about. But at the end of the day, the time commitment's not there, and I just want a fun casual league to run on Sunday nights because that's about the only night that I could pull off a league and run every week. So here I am. I'm back again, and hopefully no one's sick of me yet.
We're not sick of you. We're not sick of you by any means. But once again, congratulations on that win, and go celebrate it with your team.
Yeah, thanks, Alan. Great job as always.
And that was the 78 car of Brian Smith. Up next into the booth, the man, the myth, and the legend, but mostly the myth, Travis Gilbert. Shane, I believe Travis Gilbert's on pit road with you.
Hey, Travis, this is Shane up in the booth. How you doing?
Not too bad, Shane. How you guys doing?
Doing pretty good. I missed the start of the race tonight, but I got on a little late and figured I'd join Alan up in the booth. We were watching you really closely there at the end. I had my calculator on fire trying to figure out if you're going to get there in time. I was doubting your pit strategy. You stayed out a little longer than I would have liked, but then it looked like you were going to prove me wrong. Just about a 6/10 short there at the end. I mean, just walk us through your whole race, but especially that last run.
Yeah, the whole race started off with we started P22, no qualifying. Well, we did qualify, but it wasn't the greatest qualifying. So basically, start at the back, work our way up. Not too bad. P4 in stage 1. Thought, hey, we're in good position. The race second stage is playing out, and the caution comes out fairly early in the stage to where people could pit and take tires from the extra set that we saved in the first stage, and that would take them to the next stage, and that would be that one extra set that they would still have left over that they saved for the end. And then I don't know, I guess thought better of it and thought, hey, maybe tires are going to come into play later in the run or later in the race, but I got P10 luckily in second stage, so that was a dumb call on the driver's part. The crew chief kept telling me to come down pit road, and I ignored him 3 times. So I think
What does he know, right?
I think the crew chief is gonna have a little say after the race is over with tonight, and when we get back to the shop, he might not be too happy with me. I might get hit with the clipboard, So we did salvage a P10 for 1 stage point in that stage, and then we move forward again in stage 3 and put ourselves there with Brian. And man, you guys should probably had seen some really good, Brian and I had some really good racing. So there was, he did a really good job defending. And I thought if I could get in front of him, I was better than he was. But I did earn that opportunity in the final stage. And I tried to open up my line like Jimmy Johnson and what Brian was doing and others do. That doesn't work for me. I burned up my right front. So I was in a position with that strategy, Shane, where it was like, if I do what he does, I run second. If I do something different, at worst, I run, third or fourth, but at best, second or have a chance to win the race. So, I mean, it almost paid off. I think there was a couple laps before I pitted, there was almost a caution in turn 1. So if the caution comes out there, like, the majority of the field's a lap down. I think only one or two other people were on the lead lap at that point. So then that's basically that changes the whole complexion of the race too. So it was just a little strategy trying to get off, off sequence with what the 78 was doing. Brian was so fast, like he defended good. Thought there was one point there in the third stage and the fourth stage that we had or in the last stage there that we had a chance to win, but driver just second best, and like that's all we had.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that, especially running behind that 78. I mean, you're having a pretty solid season so far. Coming into this race, you're 80 some points above the cut line for the chase, and just having a good solid start to your season. Wish you a lot of luck on the later parts. Who else you got to thank for your performance here tonight, though?
Oh man, I gotta thank Ray Lane, the crew chief, even though he's probably upset with me with that stage 2 performance. He does a great job, he'll keep me in it sometimes. I appreciate everything that he does. Kyle Diaz, Rob Roth, Chris Roth, Alan knows them from the ECR gang that I run with the Gone Wrong Racing back in the day. So I appreciate Icon for everything that they do and put on. Obviously the Kyle Busch situation, everybody's thinking about Brexton, Samantha, Lennox, Kurt, Tom, Gay, everybody who is affected by the NASCAR loss of a great legend. That's just, I'm still in disbelief and shock that happened. And so the way that Icon put on the missing man formation and everything, really appreciate them and God for giving us the opportunity to wake up every day and to be able to do something. And I hope that everybody goes out and tries to be a little bit better than what we were, because I think a lot of people thought that Rowdy was, a certain way on the racetrack, but what a lot of people don't know is just how giving he was off the racetrack. And people forget that we can be fierce competitors when we put the helmet on or the headset on, but outside of it, we're people too, and we have hearts and we care about our family and our friends and stuff. So with that being said, Memorial Day, we race Vet to Track. Go visit www.vettotrack.org. Support your veterans. We give all of our hearts, prayers, condolences, and thanks and gratitude to all the men and women who have ever donned the U.S. uniform and put their life on the line for us. So that doesn't go unnoticed, and that's why, and I'm not ungrateful. I appreciate it, just the ability to be able to be free in this country and to do sim racing. So, and all the men and women who sacrifice for us. So, and with that being said, you guys, my mom, my family, my nephews, my friends Terry and Sweet, I just appreciate all you guys. It's a community. We're part of the NASCAR community here with iRacing and stuff. We race their cup cars, and a lot of us like a lot of different paint schemes from the drivers, and we still show our loyalty to the brand. So I just appreciate everybody for everything you guys do. And if I ever come across as not appreciative, I apologize, because I really do take this for a great appreciation and thanks for everything that we're allowed to do in this country.
Could not have said it better myself. So congratulations again on that podium finish tonight. We'll see you out there next week. I believe it's Nashville coming up.
Appreciate it, Shane. Thank you guys. God bless you guys. You guys have a good rest of your Memorial Day.
You too.
And that was the voice of Travis Gilbert in the number 3 car. Last but certainly not least, Jacob Smith. No relation to Brian. It's just a coincidence. But Jacob, what a run here. Coming up third, finishing third. Take us through that race and what more you could have needed to get around Travis and Brian.
I just think it was not great planning from the start. After the All-Star race, I thought there was going to be a whole lot more fall off. So from the get-go, I think I just lost probably 10 or 11 spots just trying to save tire. It didn't work in the first stage. I knew I needed an extra set for the end. I honestly ended with 3 sets of tires here, so there's not much else I could have done. Just glad I took 2, was able to leapfrog Bentley and Jake. So the fact that we got this Midwest Zero Parts Ford Mustang on the podium after all that, I will take it.
Yeah, absolutely. Next week we go into Nashville Super Speedway. What's going to be the strategy, and how does that track play in your driving style?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Nashville is a little flat and it's paved with concrete. I love concrete tracks. So remember I remember last year doing pretty well, except for my old teammate Cody Neal dive bombed me a couple times and junked me. But he's not going to be a factor this year, so I think we'll have a good run. And yeah, I'm hoping me, Brian, Jake, Matt, and Mike all finish well in Nashville next week as well.
Awesome stuff. Before we get you out of here, who do you want to thank and who else should get it done on that number 4 team?
As usual, it's the Midwest Euro Parts sponsor. They've been really good for a couple years now. Glad we were able to get it back on the podium tonight. For Charlotte is a great racetrack. I think I won it last year, but everyone else at RSR here. So Jake, Matt, Mike, Brian. Yeah, everyone was pretty quick. Just feel bad Matt got junked earlier in the race, but good win for Brian. Travis had a great run as well. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week in Nashville.
All right, sounds like a plan. We'll see you next week and have a good week.
Yep, happy Memorial Day, everybody.
And that was the voice of Jacob Smith. As that will end the interview part. Here we go. We're going to go ahead and show those results one more time, as we're going to get rid of that. Brian's, as we heard from your top 3, Bentley Glazer will finish 4th. Jake Rowell will finish 5th. Chris Mackey will bring it home 6th. Cody Eldred will bring it home 7th. 8th to go to Kevin Gunther. Ryan Patty will finish 9th. Michael Taylor will round out your top 10. You'll see the rest of the finishing order scrolling by at the bottom there, as we're at Charlotte Motor Speedway with a 1.46 mile quad oval. Hard charger tonight, winning or finishing 2nd. At a Gone Wrong Racing goes to Travis Gilbert, up 20 spots. Brian Smith led 164 laps as he drove that 78 car to victory, with also claiming the fastest lap of the race. We had 11 different leaders, 7 different leaders or 11 lead changes. Let's see here. We had 11 cautions for 33 laps. Jacob Smith getting the pole tonight. And 240 laps, we drove half the distance, a little over half, 349.65 miles. And that's going to be your analysis for tonight. Shane, any parting words before we get out of here?
No, it's just great to be up in the booth with you again, Alan. Wish I could have been out there on the track, but just wasn't going to make the race in time. So happy to join you, and thanks for having me.
As always, the door is wide open. Anytime even if you wreck out, you can always come and join us up in the booth. Next week we'll be at Nashville Super Speedway. Shane, I know you probably have that one circled on your calendar as you work your way through the Icon Cup Series. But before we get out of here, I just want to leave you with some words here. If you know it, you know it. We said it all night. Want to send out our condolences to the Bush family, but as we quote Wiz Khalifa and Charlie Puth, it's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. And on that note, as we quote every week, do it for Dale, be like Biff, and this week and every week, as you walk through the streets of life, please don't play in traffic every night. Everybody, good night.